before he ruled millions. Adolf Hitler couldn't even get into art school. Born in Austria-Hungary on April 20th, 1889, Hitler had a difficult childhood. His father was strict and demanding, while his mother was very loving. Despite his mother's support, he struggled in school and dropped out at just 16, dreaming of a different life. He moved to Vienna and applied to the Academy of Fine Arts. He was rejected. He tried again the next year and was rejected again. From 1909 to 1913, he was homeless, living in shelters and barely getting by selling small paintings. It was during this desperate time in Vienna that he was exposed to extreme nationalism and anti-Semitic ideas that would later form the core of his hateful ideology. A life of rejection quietly planted the seeds of resentment. One war transformed a struggling drifter into a radical believer. In 1914, even though he was Austrian, a young Adolf Hitler volunteered for the German army. He took on the incredibly dangerous role of a battlefield messenger, a job with notoriously high casualty rates. Throughout the war, he faced death. He was wounded in 1916 and then temporarily blinded by a gas attack near the war's end in 1918. World War I was a catastrophe, claiming over 16 million lives and leaving Germany defeated and humiliated. For Hitler, hearing of Germany's surrender was the single most devastating moment of his life. It fueled his poisonous belief that the nation had been betrayed from within by its own people. Defeat didn't humble him, it hardened him, setting the stage for the dark path he would later forge. How did a man with practically no formal education become the absolute ruler of a nation? Let's look at the dark rise of Adolf Hitler. After the war, he joined a small group called the German Workers' Party. This party would soon become the infamous Nazi Party. By 1921, Hitler had seized control as its leader, using huge dramatic rallies and powerful propaganda to draw in massive crowds. In 1923, he tried to take power by force in the beer hall putsch, but it failed spectacularly. He was sent to prison, but only served 9 months. It was there he wrote his notorious book, Mein Kampf. Then came the Great Depression. With 6 million Germans unemployed, the people were desperate. The Nazis preyed on this anger and fear. On January 30th, 1933, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. It was a stark reminder of how economic desperation can open the door to extremism. Did you know freedom can disappear legally? It sounds crazy, but it's exactly what happened when Hitler came to power. He didn't just use force, he used the law to dismantle democracy from the inside. In 1934, he declared himself Führer, merging the roles of president and chancellor to gain absolute authority. What happened next? Opposition parties were banned, trade unions were dissolved. The Gestapo, the secret police, was unleashed to ensure everyone fell in line. Then, in 1935, the Nuremberg laws were passed. These laws stripped Jewish people of their German citizenship and took away their basic rights. While all this was happening internally, Germany was also openly violating the Treaty of Versailles. Its army grew from a mere 100,000 soldiers to a massive force of over 4.5 million by 1939. It's chilling reminder, a dictatorship doesn't always arrive overnight. Sometimes it arrives law by law. On September 1st, 1939, a single event ignited a global firestorm. Germany invaded Poland, marking the beginning of the Second World War. This invasion changed the world forever. What followed was a conflict of unprecedented scale, eventually drawing in over 30 nations and reshaping the course of history. The war's toll was staggering, with an estimated 70 to 85 million lives lost, making it the deadliest conflict humanity has ever known. But beyond the battlefields, a darker chapter was unfolding. Under Adolf Hitler's Nazi regime, the Holocaust was systematically executed. This wasn't chaos, it was organized destruction. 6 million Jews were murdered, alongside millions of others, including Roma people, disabled individuals, and political opponents. Industrialized killing centers like Auschwitz became horrifying symbols of mass genocide. It's a somber reminder of what can happen when hatred goes unchecked. How does absolute power end? By early 1945, Nazi Germany was collapsing. Allied bombings had turned major cities into ruins, and from the east, Soviet forces were closing in on the heart of the Reich, Berlin, deep beneath the city. In his four-bunker, Adolf Hitler's grip on reality and power was slipping away. On April 30th, 1945, as the sounds of battle echoed above, the 56-year-old dictator took his own life. Just a week later, on May 7th, Germany surrendered unconditionally. The war in Europe was over, but it left behind a continent in ashes. Entire cities were destroyed, and millions of people were left homeless. The aftermath brought the Nuremberg Trials, holding leaders accountable for their crimes, and the creation of the United Nations. A promise to prevent such a catastrophe from happening again. His rule ended, but its lessons must never be forgotten. Thanks for watching.